everybody, and welcome to the Lyman Wolf Podcast. I'm your host, Raceland, and I'm joined today by my co-host, Nate. What's going on, bud?
Doing pretty good, Raceland. How about you?
What was that?
I was told I need to sound chipper.
Just be yourself, man.
Okay.
That was so creepy.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's usually what happens when I smile or try to sound happy.
that was so uncomfortably awkward.
That's the way it is.
All right. Well, anyways, let's get to our topic today, and that is we are reviewing A Nightmare on Elm Street for The Dream Master. Nate, this was your pick for the topic. What made you want to watch this movie?
We've watched the other ones, and I feel like we're just gonna continue down the franchise. I feel like it was a good time to go with this one.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think there's a total of 9 films. I want to say there's 9 because I have the box collection and it's all 8 films, but it's missing the 2010 remake. So if you include that one, technically there's 9 films. So
There are.
I want to say there's, yeah, like I said, I think there's 9.
I'm seeing 6.
Oh, well, that's wrong. I guess it's not including the Freddy vs. Jason. I'm just going by what my box collection says. And there's 8.
Oh, yeah. So
there's 8 films, and then there's not including the 2010 remake.
there's the 6 of like the franchise that we're watching, and then there's the New Nightmare. Then there's Freddy vs. Jason, and then there's the remake, Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah, so a total of 9.
Yeah.
So that we're gonna get to all of them eventually. I hope you guys like these type of movies because we're doing it.
And then we'll be starting another franchise.
No exceptions, Nate.
Yeah? No? Oh, then do you want to do the documentary of it as well?
No, I don't.
That was, I believe, produced by one of the cast members of this movie.
Yeah, well, you can watch that on your own time, Nate. I don't want to watch a documentary. That sounds incredibly boring.
No exceptions.
No.
You just said.
No, there are exceptions in my cases.
There's exceptions to the exceptions of no exceptions.
Yes, and unless it involves me directly, there's exceptions.
Okay.
All right, so let's just go ahead and get started with this review. I guess it's your pick, Nate. You go ahead and start off. What's your thoughts going into the movie?
All right, so overall, I'm gonna start with the rating that I give this.
Oh, so you're gonna start straight out of the bat with the rating? Okay.
Yes, mainly because a lot of I don't really have too much to talk about in terms of like how I felt about this movie. It was a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. I was a little nervous that you were gonna not like this one.
I would give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
So it was, for me, pretty mid of the movies we've seen.
I could agree with that.
But really the only I have a few questions about it.
Yeah, there's some things where we're just like, what?
For example, what happened to the Dream Warrior's powers?
Yeah, that just kind of went away, didn't it?
They mentioned them because Chris, I believe her name is
Kristen.
Yeah, Kristen is like, I give you my powers, Alice, as she dies, and I'm like, but why didn't any of you use your powers against Freddy?
The only time we saw Kristen use her powers was to bring in her friends in the beginning of the film, and
well, that
suck
is
them
her
in.
power.
Yeah, I know,
that was
but
her power.
Like that's it. I guess technically, what was it, Kincaid? When he was in
super strength.
Yeah, when he was doing his little fight with Freddy, I mean, he kind of pushed a car. I mean,
the car itself was already
sort of his powers.
The car itself was already unless it doesn't show him carrying the car, so unless he positioned the car at that spot, then I feel like anybody could have just pushed the car because it was already very precariously on the edge.
Real quick, I didn't even say this at the beginning of the podcast. With all review podcasts, just expect spoilers ahead.
Yeah,
because we're going to just be breaking down this movie. So
to be fair, though, this came out in 1988, so
yeah. Dude, people are still pining for it. They're waiting to watch it, Nate.
Yeah. I mean, this is the first time I've watched it.
Me
so.
too. I've never seen any of these franchises or these movies in this franchise.
Also, if I have not seen a movie, I would not be watching a podcast about that movie.
Right. That's why I was like, it should go without question. Spoilers ahead.
But yeah, so like the one that I really was confused about was Joey. He
barely did anything.
His power was like the Banshee scream.
Right.
That was really effective against Freddy. And then in this one, he's just like, no.
Girls, I'm back to girls again. Hey.
Oh, that was a comment I actually made in my notes, was like, oh, man, Joey had like 2 dreams we've seen Joey have in this movie and the other movie, and both of them were wet dreams about a chick. Like,
and he still just never kind of got over it, I guess.
I guess.
You'd think he would have learned his lesson from the first time. Like, bro, your dream is about a girl under your bed, naked. You think something might happen since the last time there was a naked chick in your dream, you almost died.
Well, okay, to be fair, he is a teenager, and I'm imagining this has been like maybe a year or even a couple of months since the last movie.
I think they mentioned it. I just don't remember.
Well, they're still in high school and everything, so I imagine it's at most a year.
Yeah, probably.
And he is a teenage boy, so wet dreams are a common occurrence for him, I bet.
I know, it's just like, this is a little different than just being a teenage boy when you've dealt with Freddy. You would have been a little on edge.
But again, though, he's probably had several wet dreams since then that were not deadly.
I don't know about you, but if I had to deal with Freddy, like, say it's been like 6 months, and I just defeated this dream monster, I would be terrified to go back to sleep ever. Ever.
You just defeated the dream monster, though. Like,
yeah,
you should
but
be
even
safe.
then, even though, I don't know, it's kind of like my theory about, like, if there's a malfunction or something break on a plane, the safest time to fly is right after it's fixed. But I'm still wary to get on that plane. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So, like, Joey just didn't... The only thing I could think of as to why he didn't use his power is because it shows him being dragged into his waterbed. Like, maybe he was drowned and he couldn't vocalize his ability.
Well, if you could tell, that's kind of like what it sound, for me at least, it looked like that's what Freddy was going for. Like, oh yeah, last time he messed me up with sound powers, I'm going to put him underwater.
Yeah. I will also state, though, Freddy did not waste any time.
That's in my notes here. Freddy killed off the 2 from the last movie extremely fast.
Yeah. This is
that's
actually
my first note.
I think this might be the fastest we have gotten a kill in the Freddy movies.
Yeah, because, I mean, the first movie, didn't it take, like, 30 minutes?
Halfway through the movie. This was, I think, 15 to maybe 17 minutes in.
Right.
And Kincaid is the first death. And I'm like,
I was, like, sad, because Kincaid was one of my favorites in the last movie. And I was like, oh, sweet, he showed up in this movie. He's not dead. Dead immediately. And I was like, oh, no.
And I was like, oh, man, Kincaid is like, he has garnered the quickest first death in this franchise so far. It also kind
of ignites that stereotype in old scary movies.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
And then I'm like, oh, man, so, okay, he's dead. So now we're going to get the moment where everyone, like, finds out he's dead, and everyone's like, oh, Freddy's back. Immediately, Joey's dead, too.
Like, next scene.
Okay. The second quickest kill in the franchise goes to Joey. All right. Freddy is given no F's at this point. He is just on a murder rampage.
I got something in my notes here from the beginning of the movie. I totally wasn't expecting that dog to just jump out of the pipe and bite him. That was so unexpected.
Yeah, Jason.
Yeah, and I have also in my notes, the dog peed fire to open up hell. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, that's actually in my notes too. Is Freddy being reborn through the piss and fire of a dog named after another horror slasher icon is.
Oh my
hilarious.
god! I didn't even put that 2 and 2 together. That the dog was named Jason.
Yeah,
That's hilarious. You know that was so intentional.
Well, I don't see any. Because I looked on, I was like, did they do this like as a little cheeky, like, hey, yeah, Jason might be the slasher right now, but Freddy's not dead yet, kind of thing. And I didn't see anything like them confirming it.
Yeah, but you know, we know, all right, Nate.
Yeah.
We know.
I feel like it, yeah. But yeah, Jason, there is kind of reminding me of a cartoon I despise on Adult Swim. I don't know if it's still airing or not.
Is Adult Swim even still a thing?
I think Adult Swim is.
I
think
honestly,
they still do
I
stuff.
haven't. I don't have like cable TV or anything, so I don't. Do they still make Adult Swim?
I think so.
Okay.
I think that's where like Rick and Morty and stuff show up.
Is it? I thought Rick and Morty was like a streaming exclusive thing.
Throughout the podcast, I will look that up and give a better answer. But right now, there was a show on it that had something to do. I think it was called Mr. Pickles.
Oh, I know what that is.
I hate that.
Isn't that where the dog is like a demon or
Satan.
something?
Yeah. The dog is Satan. And like does crazy corrupt shit throughout the entire episode and series.
I never saw it, but I definitely knew. Was it how long ago was that? Because I feel like in high school, my friends were telling me about that.
I have no clue how long it's been. I watched it.
I haven't been in high school for 10
episodes.
years, or 10 plus years actually.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel like I remember hearing about it in high school. So was it? It must have been like 10 years ago.
It has probably been around 10 years because I was in college 10 years ago.
Okay.
So Mr. Pickles looks a lot like Jason.
The dog.
Yes. This Jason.
Not the masked machete.
So the fact that this Jason opens up a portal to hell and gives life to Freddy from hell is such a Mr. Pickles thing to do. And I'm just like, holy shit, is this what inspired my most hated cartoon?
Dude, I would not be surprised if they did that. Look how many pull things that, like, say, like Family Guy does from old movies, just on a bit. I could totally see somebody at Adult Swim watching, like, this movie and being like, bro, that's a good idea. We should just make Satan be a dog. He opened up the bowels of hell with his piss. Let's just do that with an entire show.
Yeah. It's just such a weird thing. And then that's all you see of Jason. Like he seems like a really good dog, I guess, in the waking world.
For like the one scene
world,
we have of him.
Yeah.
Like I think it's hilarious how like the dog jumped out, bit Kincaid. There's blood everywhere. Bit Kristen.
Yeah.
Blood everywhere. They both wake up, and then Kincaid just looks at his dog with like blood all over its mouth, and he's just like, "Damn."
Yeah. Like, oh man, dogs be dogs, I guess.
And I was like, you think you would be a little shocked? Like you've dealt with Freddy, you saw Freddy. Like, well, you didn't see Freddy, but you this is like Freddy-like shit that you've already experienced.
Yeah.
You think you'd be like,
That's another thing, like, because Kristen even brings up the fact, like, she's pretty certain Freddy is not gone.
Yeah, like, she straight up was like, I'm having premonitions of Freddy.
Yeah, and Kincaid and Joey are both like, well, no, he's dead. We killed him.
Yeah.
And she's like, your dog bit me in the dream. And he's like, yeah, because you brought him into your dream, too. And I'm like, I'm fairly certain Kristen only has the ability to bring people into her dreams. Not
she's getting
the
ability
to have the dream affect reality. That is a Freddy thing.
I don't know. What movie was it that they pulled Freddy's hat from the dream? Was that the second one? Or the third one?
That's still a Freddy thing, though.
Is it? Okay.
Like, yeah, anything connected to Freddy is where the dream can affect reality.
That's true. You're right.
The Dream Warriors, all of their abilities are purely we can affect the dream world. We cannot affect reality.
That's true. You're right. You're right.
So yeah, the fact that the dog bit Kristen and then in the real world she was still bit and blood is all over the dog should have been massive red flags to Kincaid.
But he's just like, nah, he's dead.
Yeah, he's like, nah. But again,
I don't need to worry
fear,
about him.
Yeah, fear is such a motivator of not wanting to believe stuff, which is why we still have Kristen's mom drugging her to go to sleep.
That is my next note is Kristen's mom is super unempathetic when her friend just dies, and she's just like, get over it.
Yeah.
Just deal with it. And then she's like, oh, I'm going to drug her to make her go to sleep. Boom. Yeah. What a terrible person. You died.
Yeah, administering drugs to your child.
A minor at that.
That are not prescribed. And you can already tell that she's not the type of person to be like, okay, maybe I should just give her like one pill so she doesn't overdose. I fully believe she just popped like a bunch of pills into that dream.
Opened the cap off the bottle and just slapped it towards whatever, and like whatever landed.
Such a shit mom. Like,
dude, I was just like, she's like, all my friends just died. She's like, wow, Kristen, you're still going on about that. It's like,
you need to get over that.
Like, what the hell? This is before the drugs. And I'm just like, what a terrible person. And then it's like, immediately right after that, you drugged her. And I was like, wow. Yeah. What a horrible person.
She's just like, don't think I don't know that you're not sleeping very well. No fucking shit.
Didn't I just say that, I got attacked by a murderous person in my dreams and then both of my friends die at the exact same time on the exact same day? Huh. Maybe you should start believing me. No, you need sleep.
Yeah. That mom is just a horrible.
It kind of reminds me from the second movie with the dad who like visibly is watching shit happen. It's just like, huh, that's strange.
Nothing to see here.
Right. Did that toaster just burst into flames and not plugged in? That's normal.
That was my son's doing, even though he just walked down the stairs.
Yes, my son's not even in the room, and it's his fault. Like, what?
Yeah.
But yeah, she so far, Kristen's mother is the worst adult out of the entire franchise.
Yeah, because
100% the worst adult.
Yeah, which is saying something because we so far had not had any.
Most of the adults in these movies are garbage.
Yeah, and it's because they're the ones who killed Freddy. Like, all of them are like, oh yeah, we killed him. He's dead. We don't need to worry about him. All of our children start dreaming about him and being affected by him. He's dead. We do not need to worry about him. Like, ignore this.
So, that brings me to my next question. What would you say is your favorite kill?
This is one of the reasons why I put the rating first. Because I thought the kills in this were kind of lacking.
Yeah, they weren't great. They were... So, we have a buddy who got us into the franchise, and he even said when we started this franchise that the movies as they go, Freddy just gets, like, more
creative.
And more, like, I would say, I don't know if this is the right word, but corny. Like, he gets more like a slapsticky type of way he kills people. And this movie definitely shows that. Like, the last movie where it showed the kills were, like, pretty creative and cool.
But they were also gruesome as hell.
Yeah, this one was just kind of like, really? That's how you killed that guy? Okay, sure.
Like, for example, Joey.
Was that Joey was the underwater one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drowning him inside his own waterbed, which, creative, definitely illogical. Like, reality speaking, how did he get inside the waterbed? Nothing
will beat, though, when we're talking about beds from the first movie, when they the little sinkhole into the bed with the blood splattering all over the entire room.
Wasn't that Johnny Depp?
Yeah, that was Johnny Depp's character. Yeah. I would say so far, that's probably out of all 4 movies, that's my favorite kill.
Oh no, my favorite is the marionette walking off the edge of the building.
Oh, I did forget about that. Yeah, that was a good kill. But for this movie, what was your favorite kill of this movie?
I
have one. I wouldn't say it's creative. Like it's not the most creative, and it's probably one you kind of forgot about. But it's
No, I remember
the one. It's the one that creeped me out the most. Was the whole you want to suck face and then just suck the absolute life out of her. I was like, what the fuck? That surprised the shit out of me. I felt so terrible for that person because Sheila had like nothing to do with any of the story besides being the friend of the main character.
So that is the actress that I was saying made a documentary about the Nightmare on Elm Street.
Oh,
movies.
okay. I didn't know that.
And I don't know. I don't know if she made. I think she directed it. And her character, I would say, is probably the most wasted potential,
right,
throughout the franchise.
Well, that's like when we started this movie and they killed Joey and Kincaid. I'm like, okay, so they're gonna go with a new like cast of warriors, and I'm like, so Sheila's character looks like she's gonna be the brainy, nerdy.
She's gonna be the wheelchair wizard dude.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm like, okay, so she's gonna be like the nerdy one who can figure out ways to defeat Freddy. Immediately dead. Like immediately dead.
Like she invented the bug sound thing, and I was like, oh, so instead of being a wizard, she's going to be more like a technical genius,
like an inventor.
Yeah, she's gonna be like in her dream, she's gonna take him on with technology, and I'm like, okay, this is dead. I'm like, oh, well, that didn't pan out.
Yeah, because like Sheila's character was in the beginning of the movie was the character I was like the most like interested in. Like, oh, let's see where she goes in this movie. And then it was like you see what's her name? What was the main character's name?
Alice.
Alice. You see her kind of like shut her eyes for a split second, and all of a sudden blood is dripping from the pin. And then it's like, let's play with Freddy. I'm like, are you serious right now?
Yeah. So I missed the part where Alice closed her eyes, so I guess I blinked at the time she closed her eyes.
Yeah, don't be blinking in this movie, Nate.
I'm watching it, and all of a sudden I'm seeing blood drip. I'm like, oh, did Sheila go to sleep? Oh, no. And then she looks over at Alice, and I'm like, wait, is Alice in the dream too? What? Okay, so what? Is Alice Freddy? Is he going to pull like a switcheroo? No. Oh. What? He's the teacher? I'm just so confused in this entire scene. I'm just like, what is happening?
Okay, I have a statement about that. So, what obviously is Alice's dream, and she dies in Alice's dream. So, when she's like, oh my god, Sheila, and she tries to get out, there's like a bar that goes across the desk, like on the side of her, so she can't escape. Why can't she just climb over the desk?
I mean...
No. There is nothing holding her in that desk.
No, I understand, but I'm just saying, like, that even if she did think of that, Freddy would have probably been like, yeah, no, manacle to the floor or something.
I know, I get that Freddy would counter it, but you would think that she would at least try.
Well,
instead, she just kind of sat there like, Sheila, no! Sheila, no! And I'm like, just climb out of the desk. At least try to climb out of the desk. There's nothing holding you there. The
only thing I can possibly give as an excuse is that when you're in a situation of terror and danger, usually thinking is not what's happening. It's purely instinct.
That's kind of my gripes with when we watched the very first Friday the 13th movie was there's a lot of things you could have done to stop what was happening, but terror and panic washes over you.
Yeah. Like she originally did try to get out, but the moment that was cut off, her mind shut down and was like, I'm helpless. Like there's nothing for me to do.
And she's also pretty new to dealing with Freddy.
Yeah, she's like,
is Sheila when Alice took over as the main character, she was the first death, right?
Yes.
I thought so.
Technically, Sheila is the fourth death in the movie.
Who's third?
Kristen.
Oh, that's right, duh. Yeah, dude, what did you think of that death, by the way? Kristen's death?
Again, Kristen's death, I honestly didn't think she was going to die. Like, when she, went to defend Alice and he threw her into, I thought it was water. Apparently it was, lava.
Oh, definitely looked like, it was obviously lava.
I know. Maybe it was just, the way my screen showed it or something. I thought it was just water with fire on it, and I was like, okay, she should be fine. And then it shows her, and she's completely burnt to a crisp. I'm like, oh, maybe she's not gonna survive this.
No,
Never
she'll be
mind.
fine.
And then, yeah, I was really just disappointed with her death, honestly. Like, just to throw her into the lava thing.
You know
and
what?
Then
oh, God.
she, like, transferred her powers through Freddy to Alice, which was odd.
Yeah, I didn't like that. I got a couple notes on that. Like, one of my notes about the whole movie as a whole is the acting wasn't great in this movie. In my opinion.
I didn't mind the acting.
The actors were very... Like I said, I didn't dislike the movie, but the actors seemed very stiff. Like, come on, we need to stop Freddy. Come on, guys, let's go. I'm just like, put a little emotion behind it, man.
Shut up, Alice. Okay, you're not crazy. Kristen wasn't crazy.
But when we were talking about the throwaway deaths, one of my throwaway deaths was Alice's brother,
Rick.
Like, hey guys, I'll catch up with you in a minute. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. Dead. What? Like, he wasn't even like messing with Freddy. He had nothing to do with Freddy at that point besides being Alice's brother. That was it.
Well, that's pretty much it. It is at this point you don't have to have contact with Freddy. You don't have to have a relationship. He is hunting anybody that he can get through Alice.
But in the first 3 movies, it was always, I'm getting revenge on the people who killed me, whether it be their children, their grandchildren, as long as they're on the street of Elm Street. Alice had nothing to do with any of that besides being Kristen's friend and showing up in his dream. And he's just like, I'm focusing all on Alice now.
Okay, so as the movie progressed, he makes it very clear that he can only hunt those that are offered up to him by Alice, even when it's unwilling.
That's true. That's true. You're right.
Like, he's like, who will you give me next, Alice? So I'm wondering if when Kristen gave her power through Freddy to Alice, maybe somehow Kristen was like creating a seal on Freddy so that he can't hunt indiscriminately now. He has to hunt through, and that's the only thing I can think of.
Because didn't it seem strange that he was just all of a sudden like, nope, only focusing on her.
Yeah. Well, yes, it did seem strange like that, but also now that he has I believe, wiped out everybody that had anything to do with his death.
We'll see. They're going to be like, oh, there was another Elm Street in another state.
Yeah.
There's an Elm Street in Hong Kong. We got to go take him down.
There was... I mean, there's still people alive. Like, Kristen's mother is still alive.
Unfortunately.
She was one of the parents who helped kill him, apparently.
Why couldn't she die? I know that sounds terrible. She's a terrible person.
Understandable.
Why did Kincaid have to die, but she survived? Okay.
Exactly. So now that he is basically taking care of all of that, he can get back to what they killed him for, which was killing children. I don't know. Oh, you asked what my favorite death was.
Yeah, you never answered.
No, because I've been trying to rack my brain because I was kind of disappointed with a lot of them.
Oh, that's depressing.
There's one that sticks out that's really was I think her name's Debbie.
Debbie, that's in my notes.
That is a very gruesome one.
That was I have in my notes, that was the most unexpected way to kill someone in the entire movie.
Yeah, that was not my favorite. My favorite death.
Real quick, with the Debbie thing, since we're on the topic.
Yeah.
It was like, he's like, I'm going to take her down. Because that's what you're talking about with like, which one are you bringing me to next? And he went to her, and he like slammed the dumbbell on her and broke her arms. I was like, oh, okay, so he's going to like break her down. And then her arms like started sprouting like antlers and antennas and stuff. And I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah. That was the most unexpected way to kill someone.
Speaking of, I'm going to, since we're still on the topic of Debbie, I'm going to cut real quick to a comment that we received specifically for this.
Oh, okay, I was gonna wait till the end, but that works. Go ahead.
Yeah. Dreammaster. This
Real quick,
is from.
if you want to ever leave any comments, join us on our Facebook page, Twitter, or Discord.
Yes. Our friend Ty left us this comment where Dreammaster is a good time in my opinion. It's got probably the most memorable kill in the franchise, the Roach transformation. While not as good as Dream Warriors, it's almost there. Alice is probably my favorite final girl in the series. He gives it a 3.5 out of 5.
I'm honestly surprised that Alice is his favorite girl in this, like, final girl in the series, because honestly, Alice was, like, out of the 4 that I've seen, Alice is my least favorite.
I would agree with you.
Alice was kind of stiff and boring. That's what I meant by the acting wasn't great in the movie. Mostly what I meant was Alice.
Yeah, I was not a big fan of Alice. Honestly, I'm getting off tangent again real quick. My favorite kill was not one of the victims.
Is it Freddy?
Freddy.
Oh, that's in my notes.
Freddy is my favorite.
Yeah, I was going to ask, what did you think of how they defeated Freddy?
Yeah, that is my favorite death. Like, all of the souls inside him crawling out of his body through his flesh, ripping him, like holding him back, and then ripping his head back by his jaw.
I would say that is my favorite.
Escaping.
Yeah, I'd say that's my favorite kill as well.
The
suck
awesome.
the you want to suck face one. That was my favorite one-liner kill.
Yeah,
that was the one I was not expecting the most. The cockroach one was like super unexpected, but like it was just kind of me just looking at the film like, what is happening? But the you want to suck face was just like literally made me like, whoa, what the fuck? But yeah, Freddy's kill, the way they killed Freddy was definitely my favorite kill.
And then back to Alice. Like, she is not my favorite final girl from the franchise so far, but I will say when it comes to like, I guess her dream power, the ability to, harness everything else from all of those who die around her. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
She's basically just like human absorption.
Yeah, like, oh no, my brother's dead. I now know martial arts. Like,
yeah, I thought the way she like prepared herself was really stupid. Like she's over there. She's over there like the epic music. She's over there putting the spike bracelet on and putting the thing around her knuckles, and I'm just like, you're being really try hard right now.
That's actually in my notes. Alice in the end fight gathering all of the mementos of her allies to make herself the ultimate final girl.
Dude, she's just trying to gather her energy for the spirit bomb, okay?
Yeah. Like I do like the idea of getting the mementos of her friends and brother to like give her strength and whatnot. That is a really cool thing. The way they did it, honestly, I'm not too upset about it because it kind of felt
it was okay. It was extremely corny.
It felt like it belonged in the movie. Like, after watching her brother do a martial arts workout for like 2 or 3 minutes, it seemed to fit in tone with the film.
Like, that's my biggest takeaway of this movie is that it's why I never gave my rating. I would agree with you. This is a 3 out of 5 stars. It is the weakest out of the 4 we've seen so far, but it's still a pretty good movie. And why I think it's like that is because the film is so corny. Like, it's so silly. And I love silly. So that's what saves it for me. Is like, I like the idea of Freddy. I like these movies. I like what they're doing. This movie fell a little, I wouldn't say flat, but it just like, it didn't offer enough as the other 3 did, but it was just silly enough to keep me entertained.
Yeah. I love the fact that in order to beat Freddy, you had to give him an ugly joke.
When did that happen?
So she never actually said an ugly joke, but the implication of the ugly joke, like, to defeat evil, you must show him a mirror. So the joke's basically...
that's what you mean. That's what you mean. Okay.
You so ugly, you die when you see your reflection.
That was so weird. That's what killed him.
I liked that because it felt like a way to kill Freddy. Like that is a great way to do it. Like let's make his death a joke.
You so ugly that you fucking die.
Exactly. Like that's perfect for a Freddy death.
Okay, so was I the only one when the brother was like, what's up with all these pictures? You're not even using your mirror as a mirror. And then throughout the movie, she's taking the photos down slowly, one by one.
Revealing herself.
And I'm like, when is Freddy just going to pop up behind her? I was waiting for it the entire movie.
Oh, yeah. No, I wasn't that.
Really? I thought that was going to happen immediately after she took all the photos down. I immediately thought that was going to happen.
As she was, like, for me, it was as she was taking the photos down, she was accepting herself as her, because when he first said that, he's like, you don't ever even see yourself, and she said something along the lines of, I don't really need to or want to. And then as she's doing it, she keeps looking into the mirror, showing herself looking at herself, and it's like she's accepting herself to be able to take on this evil. I
understand that aspect, but that's a very Freddy thing to do, to just show up behind you like, surprise, motherfucker.
Honestly, the whole, like, everything about Freddy didn't feel like what we've seen of Freddy so far.
I think they were just going for, let's make this as silly as possible.
Yeah, well, not the silliness. It's more like because Freddy, every other movie, like we've said, the deaths happen so rapid fire in this one. In the previous ones, it felt like Freddy kind of took pleasure in torturing, playing mind games with, I killed your friend. Who's gonna be next? Are you? Are they? Who? And
or like in the last movie when Freddy was like, I'm manifesting as your worst fears.
Yeah, like he was playing mind games with them.
This one, he's just like, dead, yeah. Dead, dead.
He had a list and he was checking their names off super quick.
Are you the chick with asthma that's friends with the main character? Dead. Are you her brother? Dead. Are you her best friend? Dead.
Rick was a true dream warrior. Like he was wasted in this movie. He should have been in the previous movie.
Why do you say that?
Because in the previous movie, they had to learn how to fight Freddy in their dreams.
I see what you mean.
Instinctively knew how to do that.
Come here, motherfucker! I can't see you, but I can still take you down.
Like Freddy's beating him up, and he's like, a true martial artist doesn't need his eyes. And Rick's like, oh yeah, you're right. I don't need my eyes. I'll beat up an invisible guy. Like, I'm just like, holy shit, he just instantly grabbed onto what he needs to do to take down Freddy.
He should have replaced the wizard guy that died for no reason in the last movie.
No, I don't think he should replace him. I think everybody in the previous movie belonged there. I will say the wizard guy got screwed.
Yeah, he was my least favorite death because I wanted his potential to show so much.
I wanted him to do something instead of like, I am the wizard and then die. I'm like, man, that's
how I felt in this movie about the asthma chick. It was just like,
exactly,
like she has so much potential. Dead.
It's the nerdy ones. We're like, we see you can in instant death. Like
that's because we're nerds ourselves. We inspire the nerds in the movie to triumph.
We want them to succeed. She was like the pinnacle of. It's like they looked up nerd
in the 80s.
Just gave her every trait.
Asthma, glasses. She's like really short.
Yeah.
I'm
riding a moped amongst a bunch of bikers.
And then she's like, you gonna go to the party tomorrow? No, I'm gonna be spending my time in the library. Like
mind over matter.
But all they had to do was like give her the like iconic 80s nerd like the nasally voice, guys.
So she kind of did when she laughed. Every time she laughed, she had a little nasal laugh, and I'm like, the
writers are just looking up. They just looked up like, was Revenge of the Nerds before 1988?
I believe so.
They probably just looked at that movie and they're just like, copy paste into that, make her black and make her a woman. There you go.
Here, 1984. So yeah.
Yeah, they copy and paste the Revenge of the Nerds, and they're just like, make it into that.
Yeah, she like. It was hilarious, and then but it also gave her so much potential that was wasted.
Yeah, like she invented something for her.
Exactly. Like, by the way, that invention was a tool to use, like a Ghostbuster machine.
Yeah, like it straight up like put a hole in Freddy, and he was just like,
Yeah.
ugh! Come on, you thought that was gonna work? Like, come on, look at
Heal. Like, instant heal. So, was I the only one who got tricked by the movie during the rewind?
Tricked?
The time loop?
Oh! No! As soon as it happened with the time loop, I go, oh, that's what we're doing.
See, I didn't even... I was... So I'll admit, I got a text at that point, so I was looking at my phone for like a moment.
Way to not be involved. I have a newborn child, and I still focused my attention on the movie.
Well, that's... I'll let the listeners decide what that is. I was reading the text, and I heard the dialogue from her and Dan getting in the car and getting ready to go to Debbie. I'm like, okay. And then I look up to actually watch the movie, and all of a sudden I hear the dialogue again. I'm like, wait, did I just have deja vu? What? So I'm watching again, and then it happens again. I'm like, okay, what is this? Is the movie messed up? Like, did I get a messed up DVD or something? Is it skipping, going back over and over? So I'm rewinding the movie, trying to like, what's going on? And then I'm like, oh, fucking time loop.
Because I have seen Doctor Strange enough to know when a time loop is happening. So it's like, I was prepared.
Usually when the time loop happens, they show some indication of like, the time loop happening. They literally just reshot or redid the scene over. Like, they didn't even do
I wonder when they were making the movie, did they have to redo it every time? I mean, obviously in the third time, they changed the dialogue.
Yeah, that's when I realized.
But I wonder if they just straight up took the piece of film, they had film from the first shot and just redid it on the second one.
I think that's what they did, because when I watched it, it is exactly shot per shot the exact same. And that's what confused me. I was like, wait, are they in a time loop? And then Dan's like, I think we've done this before. I'm like, oh, fucking time loop. Damn it, I've been rewinding this movie to make
You actually rewound it?
What? Yeah, I rewound it like...
That's so funny.
I want to say twice, but possibly 3 times, trying to be like, why is this DVD skipping? This is not a VHS kind of shit. What's going on?
Hey, it's from the 80s. It should be a VHS.
Yeah, I don't like what. Why didn't anybody tell me, like, is this the final movie? They just had a mess up and no one has mentioned this mess up? What's going on?
Nah, that's just you not paying attention, bro.
It was such and then I was just so trolled by a movie, and
all they needed to do was like, I feel like we've done this before. Do the Rick roll.
I would have been pissed.
Dad, what if I would have sent that DVD copy of you just Rick roll you in the middle of the movie?
Time it perfectly to be that.
I think we've done this before.
I will say, like, it was kind of sad when Alice goes to Rick's funeral and sees him get out of the coffin. Like, she starts to daydream that it was, like, not really.
Okay, I have a thing. Was I the only one that thought her daydream thingy was going to be her power?
So,
did they ever explain that?
I genuinely thought, like, oh, actually... So, now that I think about it, maybe that's why... No, because Freddy was awakened at that point. Maybe that's why she kept bringing people into the dreams when she was, like, seemed to be still awake. Like, just closing your eyes for a moment in class shouldn't have put her to, like, she shouldn't have fallen asleep. They're about to have a test.
Well, I don't know. They always make these movies seem like you close your eyes once, you're asleep.
Yeah, but they're all very, like, they're tired, and most of the time they're in places where they are trying to, like, they're going to sleep. She was
this is like the 4th movie, and I'm pretty sure 3 of the 4 movies have scenes in class where they get killed or they get attacked,
but they don't, like, die. It's more like just warnings and stuff.
I'm just saying, like, it's not too unimaginable that she fell asleep in class.
She also brought Sheila in too, who was clearly awake.
Maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
Sheila, again, they were in the middle of class doing a test. They were about to take a test. Sheila was literally writing onto the test, and all of a sudden, blood dripping from her pen. So Alice fell asleep in class and was able to bring a waking person into her dream. I guess, Sheila had a daydream. Like, if she forced Sheila into a daydream.
I guess. I don't know. They made it really, like, prevalent in the beginning of the movie. Like, she's daydreaming. Things are happening in her daydream. So I was like, oh, that's her power. And then it was just kind of like, no, she absorbs people's powers. And I'm just like, what's up with the daydream then? Like, I was confused.
That's another thing. Like, remember how in the previous one, they all had, like, different personas for their Dream Warrior versions of themselves? Like, you had the wizard, and you had the girl who was a junkie, who turned out to be, like, a total badass.
Yeah, I got it.
That's honestly what I thought would happen with Alice, because she's, like, really shy and timid in reality, but in her daydreams, she was very confident and aggressive, and, like, she can take care of herself.
Like when she was telling her dad to go F himself.
Yeah, and then, like, breaking the dish on the thing, or going up to the jock, Dan, and, like, hey, you're really handsome. Want to go out?
We should go out.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, so her dream persona is going to be, like, this super confident, badass character. And they never...
ignored it.
Yeah, they never show a dream persona. It's just her adapting everybody else's personalities into her powers and taking on Freddy. I'm just like, oh, okay, that's... interesting.
Yeah, wasted potential, like we've said a bunch of times in this review so far.
This, like, the movie's good.
It had so much more potential than they wasted so much of their potential. Like, this character could have been great. This ability could have been great. You just would have flushed it out more.
Yeah.
I got no more. I got nothing else on my notes, by the way.
Talked about Kincaid's dog. Dream state abilities, fastest deaths, the poor wet dream guy.
The poor wet dream guy.
I will admit, a lot of my notes for every single death was like, oh, that poor character. Like, that could have they could have at least fought so much better for that.
Again, so many times you say, oh, that poor character, but yet Kristen's mother still lives.
Yes, she did.
Come on, daughter.
Okay.
Get over your dead friend.
So the reason I brought up the daydreams was I thought it was really sad when she went to Rick's funeral and she started to have the daydream where Rick got up and was like, it's a trick for Freddy. Don't worry. I'm not actually dead. And then she's like, no more daydreaming. And I'm just like, it's kind of sad because daydreams are a really good imaginative outlet for us. So to give up on daydreams, kind of giving up on a very creative outlet for yourself.
Again, I was still waiting for him to be like, it was just a trick for Freddy. And then Freddy being like, it's actually me.
Yeah, when it first did that, I was like, oh shit, Freddy's fucking up their brother's funeral. That's low, Freddy. Dude, come on.
Yeah, I 100% was expecting Freddy to come out of the coffin. 100%. Yeah. And then it was her brother, and I was like, oh, okay.
So the last thing on my notes then would be the Freddy song during the credits.
I didn't listen to the credits, not gonna lie. As soon as the credits started rolling, I turned it off.
So the credits played regular music for a while, and then it switches to Freddy singing a kind of rap kind of song.
Like Robert Englund singing?
Yes, about Freddy.
I'm gonna have to go back and listen to this.
And I was like, that's actually pretty cool. Okay, I like this. It was purely unintentional. I kind of just left the movie playing as I was starting to load up another game or something to play. And then all of a sudden I started hearing it and I'm like, oh, sweet. Okay.
Yeah. As soon as they were walking away from the fountain, which is one thing I want to say really quick, as soon as they started walking away from the fountains and credits, literally like 3 words started going, I'm just like off.
Oh, that actually brings up a point.
I was going to say, what is your thoughts on Freddy now? Like, he's obviously not dead. He never dies.
Yeah, no. He's never dead. He straight up says he's eternal.
Yeah, and
I'm eternal, bitch.
He was like, flips the coin like, make a wish. And then like she sees Freddy's reflection and she's just kind of like, oh well.
Yeah, like, well, I imagine what she's probably thinking is like, I'm just too stressed. I need to.
Because that's how it always goes in these movies. Is
Yeah,
my mind was playing tricks on me.
That's how it always goes for the characters who have done this.
Look at the end of the second one when they're driving off like Freddy's dead. We're just gonna drive onto and then they end up like driving and dying into like a ravine.
Yeah, because it's actually the hell bus.
So every time they're just like, no, it's fine. He's gone.
What actually got me was Freddy. He made a comment when he was fighting Alice. He said something along the lines of, "I have been guarding my gate for a very long time."
What does he mean by that?
In class, when one of the classes they were having, they were talking about dreams and their connections throughout societies and different cultures around the world, and even going into the Dream Master mythology and stuff, like what she was talking about.
Which is very convenient, by the way.
Yes. Because I was just like, what does Dream Master have to do with any of this? Oh, this class will teach me. Okay, thank you.
Right.
And the teacher said along lines of, whenever you dream, and I'm hoping I remember this correctly because this is not my notes.
Probably not.
Just something I thought of.
It's probably not.
Whenever you dream, you have two gateways that you can go into, the positive and the negative. And there
Freddy's is always positive.
Well, that's the thing. The teacher said that there is a Dream Master who guards the gates for the positive.
I'm going to tell you right now, every time you say Dream Master, I just think of Ghostbusters like, where is the gatekeeper? I am the Dream Master.
I mean, we did have a Ghostbuster-like scene in this one.
Every time you say it, that's just what I think of.
So the Dream Master is supposed to be the guard, if I understood it correctly, it's supposed to be the guardian of the positive gate so that people would have good dreams.
Okay, I can see that.
Freddy said he's been guarding his gate, but he's obviously a nightmare person.
Nah, he's a nice guy.
So I'm wondering if maybe he is obviously we already know he's a dream demon spirit thing, whichever movie you want to go with, because
they always change it.
Yeah. I'm wondering if maybe he is now, like, did Freddy Krueger merge with his Dream Master of his dreams?
And that's why he's eternal?
Yeah, and then and that corrupted his Dream Master, and instead of guarding people to the positive dreams, he now leads them into the negative.
What if he was a Dream Master when he was human, and when they killed him, it corrupted him?
Oh, that was his dream power?
Yeah.
Like the warriors?
Maybe he was maybe he was a Dream Master, and then he got murdered by obviously all the parents, and that corrupted him and fused him, or whatever you said, with
he was
the demon.
He was already killing children when he was alive, though, so he would have already been a corrupted.
I know, but what I'm saying is, you know, kind of.
Yeah,
dude, this is all like hypothesis.
Yeah,
this
is all fan fiction at this point of what we're talking about. Okay, I do like the idea that maybe he was also a dream warrior just used his powers for the negative rather than positive.
He's hail Satan.
Yeah, he is not a good guy.
Nah. Killing children, great guy.
This just reinforces to me how Rick should have been in the last one, because he would have been such a great dream warrior.
Well, it's not going to happen, buddy.
And his dream power isn't martial arts. His dream power is just instantly grasping how to work a dream.
I'm in a dream? All right, let's do this.
What if Rick was a dream master like Freddy then?
I don't know.
And he was killed because he instantly knows how to handle dreams. Like, man, that could, again, wasted potential.
Maybe was it Ricky you said?
Rick, yeah.
Rick should have been the main character then. Like, he should have been the Dream Master.
I will say there was a character I thought was going to die who didn't, and that's Dan.
Oh, the boyfriend that kind of just...
The jock.
Yeah, the jock boyfriend that kind of came out of nowhere.
The jock who is not her boyfriend. They were never dating. Matter of fact, he was dating another girl. Because on the night that she went to go get Dan because of Debbie was in danger, he was on a date with another girl.
Man, what a slut.
But he obviously showed interest in Alice. Like, he was very interested. He's like, oh, she's actually kind of nice and cute, the darn girl. So maybe he was getting ready to leave his girlfriend. Who knows? Hopefully, because Dan seemed like a nice guy.
What a slut.
And we all know how nice guys are in reality.
They always finish first.
Yes. Well, I mean, I was thinking more along the lines, they always kind of disguise predator like tendencies, and him being cheating on his girlfriend while being a nice guy is definitely.
But Nate, he's a nice guy.
Yeah. So yeah, I fully expected Dan to die, especially when they crashed and he's like being led to the hospital. First off, what ambulance has green light?
And what ambulance? She's like, no, don't put him under. Slaps it out of the hand and just like, oh, okay.
Yeah, okay. Well, she did say he's allergic.
Yeah, but still.
And he's like, oh, well, you should have said something sooner. I'm like, I feel like the reaction would have definitely been stronger.
I would have been like, ma'am, I am a medical expert. What the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, like, but also, at that point, I don't see. This is one of the things I do like about the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, is that it does a very good job of making you question what is the dream and what is reality.
I agree.
Because at that point, I'm like, so is she actually, are they going to the hospital or are they going to the dream? And
yeah, because the scene right before that was like, oh, there he is in the middle of the road. I'm going to get that guy. And then it was actually a tree and she slammed into it. Yeah. And then it cuts right to the ambulance. And
then the ambulance has green lighting on the inside. I'm like, what? That makes no sense. And then he's like trying to kill. I'm like, okay, so it's Freddy trying to... No, okay, that's real. Okay, then they get to the hospital, and then they do put him under, and then she's like... She goes to sleep to try to get into that hospital. I'm like, what?
What is happening?
Yeah. So yeah, I definitely give this a 3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Good movie. Would definitely recommend anybody who haven't seen it. Sorry for the spoilers if you haven't seen it.
I mean, we're on the 4th movie, so like at this point, if you haven't seen the first 3,
we're blaming you, not us.
Yeah, I would.
I'm blaming you, not us.
I would just say if you're interested in this franchise, start with the first one and just continue on like we're doing.
Yeah. Then since you picked the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, I will be picking the next franchise that we delve into.
Okay.
But don't worry, we still have, 4 movies to go? 3 movies?
5.
5 movies?
There's 9
this is only 4. Yeah, this is only 4.
There's 9
I don't know why I keep thinking this is the 5th movie.
I don't know, but I'm now I am now nervous about what you pick. You're going to be picking some weird fucking crap, I feel like.
Nah.
And no, we are not going to watch the entirety of Golden Boy episode by episode, okay?
I mean, that would take a lot less time, honestly, than watch. You could watch the entire of Golden Boy in the time it takes you to watch one Freddy.
Well, I see podcasts out there that break down episode by episode, and I'm like, we're not doing that with Golden Boy.
Oh, no. Golden Boy, as much as I love that show, you couldn't break down episode by episode because each episode is basically the same episode. Just different person in it. That's it.
Anyways, is that I got nothing else. You got anything else, Nate?
Nope, that's it for me.
All right. Well, I guess that's it for the podcast today, folks. If you enjoyed listening to the podcast, maybe consider liking and subscribing. If you're on YouTube, checking out all of the other stuff on my link tree in the description. What's up, Nate?
Did we have any other comments in any other medias other than Discord?
I don't think so. Let me check really fast. Facebook has nothing. Twitter's got nothing. Nope. Yeah, and like I said, you can check us out on Discord, Twitter, Facebook page. Comment anything you want us to talk about, anything about what we're talking about in the discussions and stuff. And we'll see you guys on the next episode. See you later.